Teach Jeremiah. Let's talk about acceptance. Let me give you a backstory first. So when I was a kid, I always felt depressed. I was never overly excited. I was very, not very open to people. I was very shy. I was very reserved. And as time went on, I still felt the same way. But I always grew up with the headline of from parents and cousins and aunts and grandparents and everything that boys don't cry and get on with it. You have a good life. So I just imploded in myself, and through the terms of my teenage years and being in my 20s, I still felt the same of isolation and all alone. Then I got into my 30s, and it started to open doors of my work that I have depression. And so I just lived on depression. We went through medications, we did Prozac, etc., and nothing seemed to work. And the worst one was Paxil, but I'm sure some people work great with Paxil. I just did not. But with a lot of bipolar brains, antidepressants don't work unless it's with an antipsychotic or a mood stabilizer, and then it can help. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, when I was early 40s, I got told that I had bipolar. We went through this, and I talked to my psychiatrist about it, but I didn't hear a word she said. I was just in shock. I was ashamed. I was afraid. And so I went home, and I just dwelled. I just became very reclusive and just thought that my life is over. I hated myself. I just didn't want to survive anymore. And unfortunately, I decided that maybe time was up. And then I ended up in the psych ward for 3 days, which there is a video about my 3 days in a California Mental Institute on a 5150. So check that one out. Anyway, I never talked to anybody about it when everything was fine. I never talked to anybody about it, and I was still in denial. And I talked to my psychiatrist and kept on saying, I think I've been misdiagnosed. I'm not bipolar. I'm just depressive. And so she was reassuring that being bipolar is not a death sentence. You can still lead a full life. And anyway, so I started to research myself. At that point, I didn't want to. I didn't want to know what it was all about. Anyway, I did research myself, and in the researching, it didn't seem to be too much doom and gloom. It's like there was a lot of medication, and with acceptance from friends and family, you could lead a normal life. You go through your ups, you go through your downs. I don't like my ups, because when you do the ups, you know there's a down on the other end of it. And that always scares me, because that's a major depressive situation to be in. And that's where trouble can happen. So anyway, I am very accepting of myself now. I do understand that I have bipolar, and I will have bipolar for the rest of my life. When I talk about medication, I talked to my psychiatrist about coming off my medication, and she just said, stop worrying about what other people think, and you realize that medication is a vitamin for your brain. I take vitamins, but she just said it's a vitamin for your brain, and that made me feel good about myself. Anyway, I'm very accepting, and I do care about myself, and I do love myself. And so hopefully this video is going to help somebody about acceptance of being bipolar. Anyway, like, share, follow, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. And I'll talk to you guys soon about another topic. And you guys take care, and thanks for listening. Bye.